Why do so many real estate agents and small businesses fail? Frankly, after a lot of non-scientific research, I think it is this desire to be perfect. You can't be perfect, by the way, so perfection should never be your standard. But when I look at the agents that are in a high level of stress right now, it's because they think they have to be perfect in some way, shape, or form. You go to a listing appointment and you think you're supposed to know the exact number at which that house is going to sell. But pricing in real estate is really fluid. It all changes based on the market conditions, interest rates, inventory. It depends on the whims of the buyer and the needs of the seller. And the agent really can't control any of those outcomes. And so because you can't control it, you think you have to do it perfectly, and then it doesn't land where you wanted it to land and you take ownership of that. Let that go, because nobody expects you to be perfect except you. Or unless you put a marketing message out there that says you are perfect, in which case you should totally change that. So let's also look at what happens when you get into that actual marketing and branding strategy to get to that listing appointment. You want somebody to call you. Well, you shouldn't be thinking they're going to call you because you're perfect. That's a terrible expectation to set, because you're going to step into a hole. I step in holes. You're going to say something wrong. You're going to hit it wrong. And what you have to figure out is, how do you come back from the incorrect answer, the wrong words, the bad information? Well, you come back from it with a little bit of humility that says, man, we overshot the price. The market changed. I made a mistake over here. Here's a new plan. Here's new information so that everybody can move forward. So look at your marketing campaign, for example. What should it look like? It should look like you, not every other agent on the internet. And so if you're one of those people who looks at me and says, I don't want to be like Leigh Brown, good, you're not supposed to. Or maybe you're the person who's like, I love you, Leigh Brown, I want to be just like you. No, don't do that. You can use my stuff as a starting point, but you got to think about you. And when I talk about thinking about you, I want you to realize this: the random strangers out there on the internet, the random people in your community who are not connected to you, might not ever use you as their real estate pro. They just won't. They don't have a connectivity to you. They might use you. I want you to think instead about the people right around you. They're actually the ones that already trust you, already like you, already come to you with real estate questions. And then when you make a misstep, they're the most likely to forgive you for it too, and still use you as their real estate pro. And so how do you reach people around you? Well, you don't reach them by being all shiny, perfecty, and filtered. You reach them by being realistic. So look at the zip code where you live. What's happening there? I know that in Cabarrus County, where I live, there's a bit of a kerfluffle right now in the county commission. What does that mean to real estate? It could mean changes to the jobs climate. It could mean changes to tax credits. It could mean changes to infrastructure plans. It can mean changes to building permits. And all of those things impact my clients who need to buy and sell. It impacts my neighbors right now and my neighbors in the future. And all of that means I've just got to pay attention to these things so I can talk to the neighbors around me. And they don't expect me to know the answers, because if I knew the answer to how to fix local elected officials, frankly, I'd be retired right now and not making videos on YouTube. I don't know the answers. What I'm supposed to do is keep doing research, keep paying attention, and then figure out what that information means to my community. That's right here. That's local. You're local too. So look around your county, look around your city, look at the mayoral situation. What's happening out there that's impactful to your area? You don't have to know everything. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be the one that's in front gathering this information. And then when you start putting together that marketing strategy, maybe it involves you talking about the things that you've learned. Not necessarily about this house and that neighborhood, but talking about what's happening around you and what that means to real estate. So that could mean that as you look at other social media platforms and you look at other people's branding campaigns, you might see something that really does resonate with you, and you might see something that doesn't. So how about you just look for the things that do and then make your own version of it? Now, the biggest part of this whole perfection problem is you may find a great idea and you know that it's good and you know that you could deliver an amazing message for your community, but then you chicken out. Now, why do you chicken out? Because somewhere inside you told yourself that you don't know everything. Okay, you don't have to. Or you told yourself you don't have the answers to every question. You're not expected to. Or maybe you think you're not pretty enough or young enough, or you're too old, or you don't talk right, or you just are not cut out for marketing and branding that's specific. maybe, just maybe, you're the one that told yourself you weren't good enough. So push that out of your head for a second and tell yourself, self, I do know something. And now we're going to put it out there in terms of that marketing campaign. And it could just be that your campaign says, I don't know everything, but if you ask me, I will figure it out. That's part of the secret to this. Because then when you go on that listing appointment and they ask you a question to which you don't have the answer, you can say, well, just like you saw in my online videos, I don't know this answer, but I'm going to find out. That's one of the beauties of how real estate is structured. So many amazing real estate pros work under an experienced real estate broker. Well, that's the first place you go. You should not actually be asking Facebook these questions. You ask your broker. We call it AYB. Ask your broker and say, look, you've been around this game a whole lot longer. What should I know? Where can I find the answers? And then those brokers are often friends with other brokers, and they may even tap into their broker network and say, hey, y'all, this came to me and I don't know a great answer. Who does? One of the secrets in organized real estate is that all of us are running wildly different businesses, but when we collaborate, it is for the good of the people we serve. It is not really going to serve me in any financial way, shape, or form if I help a fellow broker. But you know what it does? It helps their clients, which helps this community where I live, and that's a good thing. Which means none of us actually has to be perfect. You just have to know some people so you can ask these questions. The biggest problem you're going to have, though, is that you're going to have to take action. So all of these little things that I'm talking about are going to require you to do some reading, go to some county commission meetings, or just watch it online. It could cause you to have to go make a friend in your local market in real estate. So go to your local association's lunch and learn and meet somebody, and extra 5 points if you find somebody who's been in real estate for 40 plus years, because that is the big secret source of knowledge. Those folks will tell you so much about how things have landed where they are and how you can serve in a different way. And then as you're starting to get all this information together, the biggest thing I'm going to tell you is that if you don't want to fail, you got to take action. And right now, I'm dropping this video right in fourth quarter when so many real estate pros are saying, the markets are dead. Nobody does anything at the holidays. That's not true. Go back and look at your MLS data. In any year, properties are bought and sold in October, November, and December. And the question you have to ask yourself is, did you help any of those folks that were buying and selling in the fourth quarter? Because there are always people out there who are trying to get their piece of the American dream. So it may as well be you that helps them. And if it's going to be you, they have to know who you are. And when they find you, they have to know that you may not know all the answers, but you'll figure it out. So you start adding all those things up. And if you let go of the idea of perfection, maybe, just maybe, your business is going to grow and the trust level with people you serve is going to go high. So get out there, decide you're not going to fail, and tell me down here in the comments what you need a little bit of juice for. I'll help you any way I can. And if I don't know the answer, I'm going to find somebody who does.